Journal entry, 26th of the month of March, in the year of our Lord 1135. The demonic illness has claimed Ebon, who was of my father's inner circle, and had served as my chancellor. I feared for Charles, my best friend, and could not bring myself to make known to him the secret of Ebon's demon worship. I had buried it in my heart, and he will have to face justice not on earth, but in the afterlife. Many have perished from our fight against the darkness, and my children are still ailing. The Kaiser has called upon us for his war in Brabant. Alas, the duchy is so ravaged, we can but ill afford more than to lead a few hundred men into battle. We shall do our duty as honor demands and repay our debt. As the days go by, I feel my mind breaking under the strain. How I wish Bothild was still with me, as I struggle to see a brighter future. We have done our duty and defeated the enemy that had landed in Carcassonne, but I cannot but wait for the end of this blasted war, and to hope that the Allied armies can finish this sooner rather than later, as battles seem to be raging in the north. So we'll keep an eye. There is the first army of Montaigu in the north has been spotted. So once again, an opportunity for us to intercept them potentially, and deal with the strugglers and the reinforcements as they come. It is but a small group of enemies that we will accost in the hills of Mercœur, and I think that is going to be a very rapidly ending battle. And there it goes. We have yet again done our part and beaten back this small group of pikemen and knights that was moving through the lands. Meanwhile, as we speak, Satan's flux is being reported from the heart of the Holy Roman Empire. It is described as apocalyptic, so we may soon we may no longer be safe within our own borders from this new threat. But we will have to observe if it makes its way, as it makes its way ever so rapidly westwards. I fear for my children because Guichard and Juliana are still afflicted with the consumption and are still trying to get better. Sickness and pestilence continues its harrowing march through Toulouse. Mostly, but Guichard has died of consumption at the age of 9. He had never recovered, and with that, so he was so young. He was full of promise, and God deliver us, especially that there is a new plague on the horizon. With the demise of my son, my court has been begging me to get married once more. I will never forget Bothild, but I do have a duty to have an heir. And with my other children potentially not looking for a similar fate, I have been introduced to a young woman, Eleanor de Pin, the daughter of the mayor of Olivet. There is no love between us, but it is an arranged marriage for the alliance of the city of Olivet with the burgeoning Duchy of Toulouse. And we will send that proposal out, and we shall see what the effect will be. Little Juliana might be still following her brother and her mother into the afterlife, and that just leaves Peonella, who is currently betrothed to the Prince of the Holy Roman Empire. The response has been positive. The mayor has accepted, and with that, I once more have a wife and a duchess. However, this is a marriage for an alliance, and from their side, and to produce an heir from our side, not one my only love will always be Bothild. Another hostile army has landed in the south, so we shall once more move to intercept them. And I think also with these reinforcements we can deal with relative ease without too much trouble, and we will be accosting them in Gévaudan, which will be seeing yet another slaughter by the looks of it. Actually, in Lojac in the north, yeah, we make short work of them, and have not left many alive. So this skirmish has been completed, and the coast is once more safe. Meanwhile, it looks like the French army has been defeated in Cambrai, and the armies of the Holy Roman Empire, despite the plague that is ravaging the lands, has been victorious. So I think the army of Lille is retreating, and I think with that the war is all but won. So we shall maintain our position here to secure the coastline and to deal with anybody who may land to try and reinforce or to try and cause trouble. After it has been quiet for a long time, we have decided to disband the armies for the time being and not to pay them, but let the soldiers return. And we will raise troops when it becomes necessary. But I consider our contributions done with what we could achieve. In the meantime, I do need to do something about my mental state, because I am close to breaking point. So we have to find an activity that we can use to reduce my stress. And I have decided to hold a feast in the honor of Duchess Eleanor of Toulouse, and we shall to welcome her among our people, and to celebrate the defeat of evil, really. And for that we shall hold it in Toulouse, and hopefully in these times of war, despite the fact that soldiers ravage the lands, we have hopefully everybody can relax a little bit, and I can get some of that darkness out of my head. Ethelbert, who has been at my court for a while, has become irritable and is a leper. Her husband is ill, and that was a marriage of convenience as well, since she most likely cannot conceive. But she has become my rival at this point, after lashing out in anger, and I shall not be having with that. I think, I could challenge her to a duel, but I think I shall dismiss her from my court as such. And unfortunately, that would mean that her husband leaves as well, and he's our best knight. So I might have to put up with it for now, and just deal with the situation as it goes. So more stress about things, but we are close to actually beginning the feast. And the banquet, finally all the guests have arrived. In the great hall, lords and ladies from near and far reaches of the realm. The mood is bright and spirits are high as the feast begins. Welcome everybody. We do have to keep an eye on any kind of invasions, but all in all we're in pretty good shape. As plate after plate of food is brought into the great hall, an unmistakable smell reaches me, and I smile. That my ignorant rival Ethelbert is sensitive to almond is something I sadly forgot to tell the cook. I bid you all welcome, and pray you find the food to your liking. She could... I will not be cruel about this. She might be an unpleasant woman, the daughter of my father's old knight, but I think she will owe me a favor after this. Is there anything more jovial than a good feast? Guests throng to and fro, eating and chatting, while flickering torchlight plays off every wall, light bouncing like laughter round the hall. A solid banquet is one of the few environments where you rarely have to wait for anything. Want food? It's there. Need a drink? They'll pour you one. Fancy a chat? Good company is everywhere. Sometimes it's nice to simply sit back and enjoy the little things in life. So I could gain, obviously, this is where I want to be, because really I need to lose my stress here. So with that, we are no longer overwhelmed by stress. And what started as an ordinary feast became an exceptional one, thanks to the presence of Leuthold, my personal champion. I spoke all evening about all manner of subjects, and as things would have it, we seemed to have a lot in common. I had such a good time with him. And that is great as well. We still have 11 days until the banquet ends. And we'll see if the pleading gaze I receive from my acquaintance Alio is taking on a desperate tone. A group of guests are approaching the corner he has hidden all evening, and the walls are hindering his escape. I will distract the converging guests. He seems to be, yes, he is very shy, and he's the personal physician of Count Guillaume of Uzès, who, by the way, is, I think, no longer is no longer actually involved in any kind of scheming against me. So I shall distract them, and we are with that. The feast is starting to draw to a close, and my visitors are surely expecting me to lavish a little attention on Duchess Eleanor, our esteemed guest of honor. Traditionally, a complimentary toast and a deep drink of spiced wine does the trick. Then again, all Eleanor did was turn up. This feast was my idea. I paid for everything, and I hosted everyone. We are, of course, sending a toast. This is why we did this, after all, to the new Duchess. And she has been honored, publicly honored at the feast. And despite the fact that ours is a marriage of convenience and not out of love in any way, we shall still respect her and welcome her among us. So with that, we have the final toast. And a few candles survive after the last of the guests has left. I can hear a pair of servants letting out sighs of relief after the doors close. The food is still warm on the ceramic plates. Soon, word will reach every corner of the realm, and every noble worth their salt will know that my magnificence is unparalleled. With all my guests leaving my castle and the entire contents of my vast pantry in their bellies, I am proud to say that the feast was a success. Nevertheless, I am still grateful that the endeavor is over for now. And with that, it is all done. I have lost additional stress. County of Toulouse gains a great banquet, and I think we are in a much better spot than we used to be. We have a learning perk, so we can do the anatomical studies. Personal physician treaties have better outcomes. That is definitely something we need. Can I change already? Not yet. I think the eventually, now that we're mostly done with learning, I'll do one more in learning. I think, the wash your hands, and then we probably go for the wandering, so I can do the inspections, which is also going to be super helpful. Little Juliana de Villeron is still afflicted by the consumption, and we don't know what her future will bring. A few more children have been born. We have Okatar, the son of Leuthold and Jusana, so he has to be not by myself, that's too stressful, but by his father, presumably, if I can find him. There he is, Leuthold, my personal champion. He shall be the ward of his son. And we have got Valence, who seems to be very, very smart. So we might actually, we'll have her educated as well. So with that, we have a few more children showing up in court. and gives my wet nurse something to do. And Volkart, who is getting on there in age as well, is still our tutor, and he has done a marvelous job of that over the years. Philomena, in her old age, is fragile and infirm, but so we may have to actually replace her as antiquarian at some point. She's still doing an okay work in her as a personal physician, but she would obviously not take it very well if we did that. So well, we'll leave it for the time being. And I think we have we are in a better spot. We are starting to create the crop fields in Montauban. I think overall the control is improving across the lands, and with that, I think with a 6 gold income, I can actually begin. Get Tarkulf back to increasing the development in Toulouse, rather than focusing on collection of taxes. The popular opinion is improving, and the county of Toulouse is getting back to its old track of being a center of learning, science, and knowledge, rather than a crude warfare. And lastly, it looks like the French army has been soundly beaten, although there seem to be some other armies busy inside the Holy Roman Empire. There's probably various uprisings. This looks like this ambition from the emperor himself, from the Kaiser, who has become a drunkard in his old age, may have been slightly too much, and he might face a similar fate as the Kingdom of France, and break apart the empire through this war over a small portion of land.